Hello, FlossTube. This is Bonnie Jeanne, also known as PostMuse, and my channel is Postally Yours. I was a mail carrier for not many years, but enough years that I feel like it was identifying, so that's why I'm Postally Yours. I also was a letter writer extraordinaire for about 30 years before postage got too expensive. So I switched to cross stitch, which is an inexpensive hobby, right? But yeah, so I don't write as many letters as I used to be, but I still love, my sign off was always Postally Yours. That's why my channel is called Postally Yours. Someday I like to get back to writing letters. So I am here with FlossTube number 35, and I am happy because I have managed to, this is I think my fourth FlossTube in a row, 1 week after another, and that makes me very happy because I went a whole year without filming any FlossTubes. So I'm going to show you my whips. I don't have any finishes. I probably won't have any finishes for a few weeks, but my first two whips are whips that I am, focus projects. So these are ones that I want to keep in my weekly rotation every week until I get them finished. The first one is an obvious choice. It is, I'm going to put a picture, I don't know, I never remember which side it's going to be on. I'm going to put a picture of the finished chart above, and it's called I Persist. And it is, for me, a very difficult stitch. I am not used to this kind of changing threads all the time and not having full rows, and it's a much larger stitch than I'm used to. So I am doing this on Atomic Ranch 20 count Aida, and it's called Tweed, and this is where I am. So last week, this is what you see here is the start of an opal. And last week I had mentioned that I had a whole bunch of stitching in a reddish purple color that was the wrong color, and I did take that out. I have all of those whites that you see are actually, the whitish color ones are actually different color whites. They're just slightly different from each other, and they're not actually white. They are all different shades of white or light blues, and I'm not finished with those colors. And then once I finish with those, I'm going to do a deeper blue, a lighter blue than the blue you see there, and then a deeper blue, and then the reds and purples of the opal. So it's called I Persist. I think I've got the hang of it. This is a digital pattern. I'm not a huge fan of digital patterns, but I think I'm getting the hang of stitching one page after another, and it's not something that I can do unless I have total focus, so I cannot bring this to work on my lunch hour, but I am starting to enjoy it very much, and I just absolutely love the sentiment about the dandelion that is persisting even through concrete. So that works. That's very important to me right now in these times. And then the other stitch that I stitch every week, not necessarily every day, is the Peppermint Purple 2025 Stitch Along. This is black work, which I attempted to do back in 2020 for the first time, and 2020 being what 2020 was, I gave up on it about 10 weeks in, which is where we are now. I guess it was probably 12 weeks in when I gave up on it because things just got so crazy and I could not focus. And black work is not as easy as it looks like it is. It looks like it's just black back stitching, but it isn't. It can be very complicated. So this is where I am on my 2020 stitch along from Peppermint Purple. So this week it was this one right here that I did. Nope, was it? No, it was this one. That's right. It was that one right there that I did. So all of the little fill-ins that go around the center square there, there is on the outer side it's this color purple, and the middle section is this color purple, and then there's a lighter purple that goes on the inside. And then the center square, it will all be black stitched, but that's incredibly difficult for me on 20 count Aida. I will never ever ever again stitch black work on anything but 28 count linen. But that's where I am, and I'm really loving how it looks. It is complicated, but I'm really loving it. So that's Peppermint Purple's 2025 black stitch along. And my next one, so 2 years ago I started the Little House Needleworks seasonal series. It's an ABC series, and I started it on 20 count Aida, but unbeknownst to me, I had already started the Little House Needleworks ABCs, which you see here. I don't like that they photograph them diagonally. So that's the ABCs. So I had started that on Atomic Ranch 28 count linen, Eucalyptus, and oh my goodness. So this week I finished the ABCs. I finished all of the letters. And look how long this is. Now I will give you a little visual. When I started stitching the seasonals, this is winter of the seasonals. That's the 20 count Aida, which is what my new favorite. No, it's not ironed. It is wrinkled because I'm using the fabric for something else. But you can see how much bigger the 28 count is. Of course, I knew that when I picked it up, but I actually got really nervous because I wasn't sure I had plenty of fabric, but I wasn't sure I was going to have enough fabric to finish the alphabet here. So yeah, that's 28 count, and then a couple of the other stitches that I've been working on this week that I haven't touched since I started using 20 count Aida on 20, and they are also on 28 count linen. I'm like, wow, these are like gigantic. I feel like Gulliver and Jonathan Swift's Gulliver Travels. So yeah, I have the alphabet done on this. So now I just have to go back and do all the. So some of the letters actually have words beside them. The lady here will take some time because she's pretty much full coverage, and that house up there. There's always a house in these stitches, in that house up there. But I think after I finish this one and all of the seasonal ones, I will be done with Little House Needlework ABCs. I know they have many other ones in this, in that same vein, but I'm good. I will have finished 5 of them, and I think I'm good. I liken it to the tiny towns. I have one tiny town. I have the seaside tiny town, and I have absolutely no interest in finishing any of the other ones. So it is enjoyable. It's very pretty. I do enjoy stitching these. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. My stitch tastes change so much over the years, even within a year. Like even from this last year to this year, my stitch tastes have changed dramatically. So my next one to show you is Blackbird Designs. This is their Fab 4 series. This is based on the Beatles. It's 6 charts. I have 2 of them started. The first one I'm going to show you is Octopus's Garden. And I am stitching this on 28 count, I think it's Fox and Rabbit, and it's called Oyster Shell. And this is where I am. So what I did this week, was the words under the sea in an octopus's garden. That's what I worked on. A little bit of the yellow. I had to put some pop of color. These colors and the two charts I'm going to show you are very understated, which is not like me. I like bright colors. But I know I'm going to love these when they're all finished. I will frame all of them in the same kind of frame. I'm going to thrift some wooden frames, strip them down, and paint them all black and distress them so they all kind of look the same. So I have all 6 of them. Even though 6 is not a good color, it distresses me that it's not an odd number, but that's okay. So that's Octopus's Garden. And then, as you can see, Octopus's Garden right here, that's the year that song was released, 1969. And all of them, I believe, have the year that the song was released, which I love. I don't necessarily like the whole idea of stitching the year that I stitched them, because sometimes it can take me 30 years to finish a project. Maybe this year I will finish at least a 30-year-old project. I started in the 1980s. I hope I finish it this year. So I'm not going to put a date on it. The other one that I'm working on is Eleanor Rigby. The 1904 was obviously not the year that song was released. However, legend has it that is the year that on the tombstone of the original Eleanor Rigby, but that is an urban legend. I don't know that it's true. So what I was focused on this week when I was stitching was to get the basket or urn or whatever this is started, to block it in so that when I'm at work I can play with that and work on that, because I won't have to look at the chart because it's all regular stitching. So I did get down to where that is, and I think I will be able to work on that, and then I can work on the border, which is also regular stitching. I won't have to worry about it so much. So I have all 6 charts in the series. Yellow Submarine is the main outlier. It's got a lot of bright colors, which I'm sure is not surprising to anyone who knows that song. However, it's not like super, super bright, but they're much brighter colors than Eleanor Rigby and Octopus's Garden. Strawberry Fields will be the last one that I stitch. That one is looks like it's going to take forever. It's got a big house. Okay, let's see if I have it here, and then I can pull it out and show you. It has a big house, and houses take me forever to stitch, especially when they have a lot of windows like that. This is going to be a big stitch for me. But it's pretty. Oh, that one doesn't have the date. I will have to find a way to get the date in there somewhere. Strawberry Fields Forever was one of my favorite Beatles songs. So that one's that. My next one is Fairy Coffee Mother by Heartstring Samplery. And I am a huge coffee fan. I am also a coffee snob. I prefer my coffee, I prepare it in a very elaborate, ritualistic manner every morning, which is the reason why I only get 2 cups of coffee, because I just don't have the energy to make more than that. I use a Clever dripper, which is kind of a combination of a drip coffee and pour over and immersion, and it's quite the procedure in the morning. It's quite the ritual, but I love the way that tastes. So I'm stitching this on Fiber on a Whim Tuscan 20 count Ada, and it will be very tiny, and I will be finishing it as a pillow. The typography on this is really hard to read, especially on this bright fabric, but I'm okay with that. That basket up here that holds the coffee, the raw coffee beans, I can fill that in at work. Yeah. There's a lot of this that I will be able to fill in at work. There's going to be a coffee tree or coffee bush, I'm not sure. Coffee coffee something, where the coffee beans go, right over here on this side. Yeah, but I like it. I love this color. Yeah, it's showing pretty true to color here into in the evening light. Well, there's no light in the out here because I have the curtains closed behind me. My obnoxious IKEA black cat curtains. The next one that I worked on this week is from Lindy Stitches. This is her Endangered Species. It was available to club members. I joined the club just to get it. I joined a little bit too late to get the first in the series, which was a tiger. I think it was a tiger. And after I joined the series, all the charts are lovely that I've received, but once I finished the two that I started, which is this one, the Atlantic right whale, which was once upon a time seen a lot on the Cape Cod Bay area in Massachusetts. I did have the fortunate opportunity to see one and her calf many, many years ago when I was out on a ferry ride from Plymouth to Provincetown on Cape Cod. So this is where I've gotten on that. Not much, but it's a start. It's getting there. This is on, I have forgotten the name of the fabric, but it is in the notes if you are interested. It's a very, it's a linen. It's a 28 count linen. It's very pale. It is perfect for the whale. And so I have 5 of the 6 patterns that were released in the series. And I have started the African Savannah Elephant, and I'll finish that one. And I don't know that I'm going to be in a hurry to finish the other ones that I have in the series, just because I have so many other stitches that I really want to get finished this year. So I might leave those off, and I'm trying not to buy any more series, but we'll see how that goes. I'm just trying not to buy. And the last thing that I wanted to show you tonight were the Val Stuff kitty calendars. I had started these years and years ago, and I had gotten a bunch started and a couple of finished ones, but the one that I worked on this week was March. Almost finished with it. I really wanted to get it finished before tonight, but it didn't happen. So this is where I am in March. I am doing these on 25 count bone Lugana. I think it's Witchlet is the name of the company. So you can see where I am on that. Just got to finish the border on it. And then I am going to finish them all as this one is finished with, it's just a flat finish with a little bow matching the actual design fabric. And originally I was planning on doing a perpetual calendar with these. However, I've now decided that I want to just finish them, the flat finish them, and then I have a key hook that has like 5 hooks or so on it, and I'm going to hang them on those. It's right before the door. I think I'll like it there better. This is the other one I finished. I finished this one in a way that I thought I was going to use with snaps, but I decided I didn't want to do that. This is February, so this is the other one that I finished. I am going to put a little fabric loop of some sort on it, but I'm not going to go through the finish that I did on this one, which is messy as all get out, but it's got a cardboard in it. This is floppy. I'm not going to bother changing that. It'll be fine with just the loop as it is. But the rest of them will be finished like this one, like the November one, with the board behind it and a little bit of batting. So I have 4 other ones started, in this series, and those I will finish up, and then by the end of the year I hope to have them all finished. So that's 4 that are started, 4 more that are started, 2 that are finished. So that's half of them. So the other 6 I hope to have finished by the end of the year. So that'll be one that I can take off my list. Oh, somebody last week had commented that they thought the September one that I had started, that the whiskers were too high. And I don't think that they are. I think, so this is the September. So you can see the whiskers up there. Now it looks like the whiskers have a cross stitch where they meet. See where they meet? And I think I might go back and do that, because this is what my September looks like so far. Sure it does. Where is it? See? My gray, I'm using the call for colors, but my gray looks totally different. And as you can see, it looks like his whiskers, so I think the whiskers should be down by the nose, but that's not where the chart has them. And the eyes don't stand out very much because of that dark gray. If you look at the picture, I am pretty sure my whiskers are right where they're supposed to be. The gray in in the picture is much lighter than my gray, and also the green eyes show up a whole lot more than my green eyes. Again, I'm not going to go back and correct that. And maybe it's just that the way the variegated floss was, see how the color is much lighter down by his mouth down here. Maybe if I had been more fussy with the way I was placing the floss, it would be much lighter up by his eyes and whiskers. But I mean, don't you think that there are X's right where his whiskers meet? I mean, that's not on the chart, but I kind of like the way it looks. So when I do finish this off, I might go back, I might just put those X's in there. And maybe I will backstitch the eyes so they show up a little bit more. Don't know. So another thing about these, they all have a little charm. So August is done, but the charm is really floppy. I didn't stitch it on really well. So they all have a little charm, a little button that goes on them, which I love. Love, love, love. However, on the August one, there's a little, a button that looks like a little ant, and it has a watermelon theme. And it's cute and all, but I'm not real fond of ants. And I have misplaced the button, and I know that I have it stashed someplace, but I don't remember where I put it, because I know I saw it when I was organizing my whip parade at the beginning of January. I saw it and I said, oh, I think I know what this belongs to. It was just like loose, and I put it aside, and I know I didn't throw it away, but I have no idea where it is. But I'm not real fond of ants, and I don't know that I want the ant, so I think I might try to find something else to put in place for the button for that month, but we'll see. So that's it for what I have been working on this week. And next week I have another rotation of patterns that I have picked out. I showed them last week that I picked out for March, and I will work on those next week. I will keep I Persist and obviously my 2025 Stitch Along for Peppermint Purple in the mix. I might keep the Calendar Kitties in the mix and Fairy Coffee Mother, because that one I think I can finish. It's a very small stitch. I think I can finish that one. And then once the following week, I'll bring these stitches back and see what I can get done on them before I put them away and take out a whole batch of other whips for April. So hoping that planning a little bit. I'm not real good with following through with very intricate plans, but I'm hoping that planning a little bit will end up with some finished stitches. So keep my fingers and toes crossed. So as far as acquisitions, I did do a market pre-order. One of them is the Lindy Stitches final in her airmail series. It's the series that looks like a postage stamp and it has a different bird. So it's the final one in the series, so it makes number 12. And I have all the other ones, so I needed to get that one. I needed to complete that series. I do love that series. I am going to make that a focus project probably towards the end of the summer or beginning of autumn. I want to get those all finished and framed. They very intricate stitches. They are not a quick stitch at all by any stretch of the imagination, but I think I will feel really good if I have all of those stitched out. And I can't imagine framing 12 of them and hanging 12 of them. I don't have space for hanging 12 of them, but I have ideas, and I'll share that later on when those ideas come to fruition. And I also fell in love with the Cross Stitch the Rainbow palette this year. It is kind of like nighttime and starry and romantic, and I bought 3 of the charts, and I will show those when I get them. I bought from my local LNS. I bought from my LNS. Local is repetitive. But I bought from my LNS, Stitch New England. I bought the 3 charts and the floss, the specialty floss that goes with them. I did the Cross Stitch the Rainbow the first year that they had it. It was kind of like an autumn kind of theme. It was in the summer. They came out it wasn't for Nashville market, I'm sure, because I know I bought them in the summer. But I was really excited about them, and then I didn't do the following years because the palette didn't thrill me, but this year's palette I'm really pleased with. I really think I'm going to like it. So those are my two, the 3 and then the 4th purchases for Nashville. I promised myself I wasn't going to buy any more charts, but couldn't resist. Had to have those. And I didn't do any additional reading this week. I don't have any additional books to recommend. I am listening to, I have 2 audiobooks, neither that I would highly recommend, and I am reading a book for the Massachusetts Center for Book 2025 Reading Challenge. It's called Council of Dolls. It's sad, but it is very, very good. And that is in the notes. I started reading that at the beginning of the month. And I like it a lot. Well, yeah, I like it, but it is very, very, very sad. It's told through the eyes of 3 Indigenous women. The ages range from the 1900s all the way through the 2000s, and the 3 women are related. But yeah, it's very good. So that's it for this week, and I will see you next week. I'm very happy that I'm able to continue with my weekly floss tubes, even though they are fairly short. I kind of like the idea that they're short. It's a lot easier to upload them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye, FlossTube.